Hi everyone. So if you're familiar with my normal video content, this is going to be a little different. This is going to be probably sort of simultaneously both very much broader than what I normally do and a little bit more personal as well. And the reason for that is because I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about what my actual goals were when I started doing this and what the plan is for the channel sort of going forward. And in the context of that, I think it's really important that we're going to talk about some things such as disability representation and how it is right now and how it should be different. So my hope with the channel originally was not so much to make a channel out of it, but was to make a production company. And then the world kind of became the way that the world is now, and production companies are not so much of a valid option because, live shows can't really happen at this moment. So YouTube channel it is, which is totally fine. But the main goals are staying the same. And the main goals are that what I really want to do is put a spotlight on disabled content creators and disabled performers. And I want to just really quick pause and say, throughout the course of this video, I do not personally, as a disabled person, like person-first language. I think that it can be very belittling, and I think that it's well-intentioned, but that it doesn't actually take into account the experiences of the people that it's trying to refer to. And so I personally will not be using it. If, however, in a future video I'm ever speaking with someone who does prefer it, then I will obviously be respectful of that person's wishes. But I think it's important to put that out there right away, because I know that some people have some very strong opinions about how that should go. Okay, so continuing to build off of that, obviously disabled people do not need to provide the specific details of their disability in order to be considered like a valid member of the community. That is ridiculous. However, in this specific context, I do think that it's appropriate for me to give you a little bit of information about where I'm coming from, because it is going to impact the lens through which I kind of continue to explore this topic. So what I have is a mild version of cerebral palsy that impacts my legs. So when I'm talking about, disabled characters and how I think disability representation can improve, what I'm going to focus on is mobility issues, because that's what I feel that it's appropriate for me to speak to, because that's what my experience is in. I don't feel personally, again, that it's my business to be talking about a disability that I don't have, because I don't want to make assumptions about any other person's experience. So, for example, I'm not a wheelchair user, so I will not be speaking about what it's like for someone to use a wheelchair. I don't know. That's not my business. That's not where my voice needs to go. So what I will talk about and what you'll hear from me specifically is what I can personally relate to and what my experience has sort of helped me to understand. So obviously that's not to say that the voices of people with, a different experience than myself are not going to be featured on this channel, because that's kind of the opposite of my point. What I really would like to do is to get as many people as I possibly can with as many different experiences as I can to be able to share their stories and to be able to have a platform to express what they have kind of gone through, or to have sort of that artistic outlet to share with others, so that we can sort of begin to build our own version of the type of representation that we would like to be seeing. So that being said, what I really wanted to use this video today to do as well was kind of kickstart that conversation by presenting some questions that I think are really important to consider, especially if this is something that perhaps you've never really given a lot of thought to. So what I would love would be if you would take some time with these questions, really think about what your specific answers to them are, and then if you feel so inclined to leave a comment kind of discussing what you notice or how you're feeling about your answers, that would be amazing. Question 1. What was the last thing that you read or watched that contained a disabled character? Question 2. How did other people treat that character? Question 3. What kinds of things did people talk about with them? Question 4. How often did they show up in the narrative? Question 5. What was their personality like? Question 6. What kinds of things did they specifically want to talk about? And question 7. What was their main goal? So you obviously don't have to feel inclined to very specifically answer each of these questions, but I would like to know, I would be curious to see kind of which of these questions you were able to answer and how you felt as you were thinking about these questions and, you know, if it made you think about anything in particular. I would love to know that, and obviously if there is some book, movie, TV show, what have you, that is out there that has amazing disabled protagonists in it, I would very much love to hear about it. So if you do want to be specific, I'm absolutely down with hearing about that in the comments. But either way, I hope that this kind of inspires you to think about some things, and if you want to be more actively involved in this conversation, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know. I really do want to talk to people. I really do want this to be a discussion and not just me kind of monologuing at a camera all the time. So please, if this is something that interests you, feel free to like, to comment, to subscribe, to contact me with any kind of comments, questions, things that you want to discuss, and I would really love to hear from you. Okay? Okay, well, I'm going to stop talking before this gets more outrageously long than it already is, but before I sign off, I do just want to say, again, please don't be shy about getting involved in this conversation, because it's one that I'm really excited about, and it's one that I think doesn't get talked about as much or as publicly as perhaps it should. And I think that we can really make something awesome by not being afraid to talk about it. And so, yeah, I will hopefully see you around, and if not, I hope you at least enjoyed your brief time here, and I'll see you around. Okay, bye.